and I'll have some gas in it with a shut-off that I can send to turbines, for example. Where the turbines and stuff are going to be is probably just under here. Okay, now those turbines will also have aqua tuners underneath them to make me liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. So, I'm going to need a space around here for the turbines. I'm just going to cancel these before I forget. I'm going to need a space around here for the turbines. So if we said symmetry-wise, it would be, yeah, like that. Okay. Now, how many turbines can I fit in this space? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I think it's only 3. So these are 5 wide. Perfect. So that would work. That could be our steam turbine room, which means we do kind of have a little space on the left and right. But I think I would want it to be underneath. So this is where we're going to have our aqua tuner build. So in which case I probably could do with having my hydrogen and oxygen nearby. So maybe do the little build here. And then some tanks here or something. 3 is not enough. 3 is not enough for what? Three is not enough. The other thing I've not considered yet is if I'm going to do the whole dropping regolith down and melting that as well, I don't know how I'm going to collect that heat. Maybe I can have like a little recess in the thing. If it melts, it'll pool up somewhere. We'll figure it out. For the heat of the rockets. They're not going to be using the heat for the rockets full time. They're just going to use the heat from the rocket as additional heat to make sure they're constantly running, even when my aqua tuners aren't. That's the plan. So I'll have it on like... imagine a band of... Let me think, can I show you this somewhere? I don't have any builds that I can jump into easily, but imagine I had a band of pipe like this, alright? That then ran underneath here. I could use this to heat up my steam, if you see what I mean, and then go back up here. So if this is all heat mass up here, I can have a little shut off here somewhere, so that if this room got below 130 degrees, it'd bring in some of this heat from the pipe. That's what I'd probably end up doing. But what I don't know, as I say, is how I want to deal with the regolith itself. But anyway, this is kind of an aside. This is the plan for the future. I need to do an oxygen setup, as I say, and that needs to go. I'm thinking like here would be a good spot for it. If I just dug this crap out quickly, it wouldn't be symmetrical, but it'd mean I wouldn't need to rip this out. So I need some oxygen to get me oxalite now. I can be stockpiling the hydrogen for when I want that later. I think that may be the plan. I'm going to put all this low priority in a second anyway, but I'm just trying to, as I say, make sense of what I want to do here. Because I can do all this stuff to high priority now and just get my dupes cracking anyway. But this is going to be just a low little slow burner. That should be okay. Plans on plans within plans and plan and execution. Yes, exactly. Plans on plans on plans. You have to plan for these things. Otherwise, you know, you've not planned. You've got to plan. Right, so desalinators here. Water comes in. Goes to electrolyzer build over here. I think that'll be nice. So let's hop over here. We'll get all our dupes involved with a little priority 8. And we'll just get this crap dug out quickly. We don't need to dig all this space, honestly, but it's not exactly a big deal. What have we got nearby? Granite. Plans on plans on plans! Let's get the squad involved. Stat. Need to get this guy some liquid piping, but I don't really want to run petroleum piping over there right this moment. We're getting bugger all oxalite anyway. The reason we're getting no oxalite is we're not getting any oxygen coming up here. So, I want those panels up to the left. These are solar panels. They're just not hooked up yet. I built these a long time ago because we made a load of glass, built them, put them in, and then I've not wired them up and sorted out my bunker doors yet. I don't have enough power currently to work my bunker doors, so even if I did like a space setup right now, I wouldn't be able to power it. I couldn't kickstart it with, you know, 20 manual gens, so... Nicholas, how's it going? Sorry, but I didn't see you come in. How are you? How many playing hours are you in this game save? Digging the gameplay, seeing from other channels, never imagined it get this deep. Kalexi, currently we're at 130 odd hours, so I reckon probably about 130 hours streamed, and then a bit of AFK time and stuff, pre-stream and stuff. We have streamed maybe 17 streams of this now. We normally stream for between 6 and 8 hours. Sometimes it's gone a bit longer, but something like that. Alright, so I might do like some pretty bell tower here. The only thing I'm thinking is, what can I match up with over here when we want our symmetry later? What can I do over on the other side? We do have a carbon dioxide vent here, which is a little bit trolley. I'm sure we could figure something out to put over here later. Maybe we'll do our tanks for like liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen here or something. What are you using for food? A bit of all sorts at the minute. We're using a bit of live food. We're using some... I need to get rid of this fucking water. Using a bit of a bit of wild food. So we're getting like wild lettuce and stuff. We're using some berries that we were growing in the base, but I think are currently a little bit stifled. Using a bit of all sorts. Lots of barbecue, lots of meat, stuffed berries, cooked fish, all sorts. Bit of a mixed diet. I just want to check how this is working down here. 189. Ooh. Let me pump this in a little bit more just to get the level up. We'll pump in twice as much as we're pumping out, and then I'll just fix this with an ore gate. Ooh, we're lagging. Oh, we finished another research. Nice. So now I've got gas cargoes and liquid cargoes. So for those that were asking about space before, one of the other things that you can get is liquid gases. Or you can get gases and you can get liquids. They used to come in like solid form, but I think they actually come in liquid and gas form now, which is nice. Ah, shit. It's not going to work. Oh, that's going to cancel that. Nice. Nice. Let's do that. And that. Sorry about the plane noise, by the way. Even the lady was raging about the plane noise yesterday. It's been me just whining about it. I'm telling you, they've changed flight paths. I'm telling you. Something's afoot. What does glass ore tiles cool to? What do you mean, sir? What does liquid glass cool into? Glass. Goes into glass. So we've probably got some kicking around over here. This is our little glass forge, and when it cools, it makes glass. Did it look like the tiles? No, this is glass. You can build it into glass tiles. You can use glass to make window tiles, or you can use diamond. Is it windy paps? They may be coming in from the opposite side of the runway. It's been like this for a couple of weeks now, Silent. They've they must have changed the flight paths, but they've not actually like notified anyone or let anyone know that they're doing it. So it's pretty shit. Oh, thank you, Mex. Mex, whilst you're at it, mate, give Leppy 500 as well, please, bud. If you don't mind. With 30 miles from the airport. Yeah, I'm about 25 miles away here. And something's changed. Well, it's like, basically, all the planes now are flying around here, like over here. And they're super low. Really low. It's no good. No good at all. Bastards. Oh, does it cool into blocks, you mean? I don't know. I've never tried. I've never had a big enough pool of liquid glass, to be honest. I've never tried to cool it down. I don't know what it looks like. I couldn't tell you. Look, how are you, buddy? I have so much excess power on my current map, maybe I'll make a CO2 lake. Do it! I got no power. I wonder how much natural gas we've got, actually. Maybe that should be the next thing to do before we do oxygen. We've got 160 kilos. That could get me some power. Just to supplement the build. I could run it on the same automation as the petrol gens, just to give me something. Thinking of leaving this space free here, but I could build a build like there. Put a few rows of natural gas gens in. I'm going to take a decision on that in a sec. I just want to make sure this doesn't boil off or get too hot for my pumps. I've got to be a little bit careful down here. Does liquid glass transfer heat to airflow tiles? Nothing does. No liquids transfer temperature to airflow. What are your favourite Indian dishes? I'm looking to try something new. I like jalfrezi and masala. Don't mind if it's pretty hot, I can handle it. I like boona. What would be nice? What would be interesting for you? If you can get like a buffad, well, that's one that's quite tricky to get. Or oh, what's the ones that we used to get? There's a makhani. If you can get that, that's nice. Makhani's nice. Good dude enjoying the stream, still waiting for the Dagon to attack again. Never. She knows better than that. Take her down. Take her down. She'll wait until I've finished streaming to beat me with the pan anyway. She'd never do it on stream. She's smarter than that. She knows the authorities are already watching her after the last incident. She knows. Right, that's what I was doing. I'll come back to natural gas in a minute. I mean, basically, the amount of gas we've got down there would do very little anyway. The idea is I want to get that cargo pod launched so we can get some niobium. Niobium and stuff. And get some thermium. We get thermium and make a petrol boiler. We get a petrol boiler, I've got a buffer for making the other stuff then. because petroleum gens would last me a good while. I'm probably offering advice that you're well aware of. Ah, no, it's fine, Odith. It's all right. It's a unique struggle, this, that I'm not confident with, if I'm honest. I ain't afraid of no pigs. How dare you? You calling me a piggy? Yeah, no natural gas kind of sucked. Anxiously awaiting the quit button just off camera. What do you mean? What, the stream just ends? You see a pan coming in and the stream ends. She's pulled the power at the same time. I wouldn't put it past her. She's a dastardly dragon. Let's get rid of all this. I don't know, I'm going to get rid of this water. Won't be an easy way to... Right, what is that? Did you see that? My dupes get stuck in tubes now as well. I saw... was it Winter we saw do it before? We saw someone doing it before. They were stuck in the tube. Let's see if we can find somebody else doing it. It's pondering gravity. Yeah, they're pondering in the tube. It's crazy. Crazy. If we can drag some more tubes per and see what happens again. Just stop in mid-tube to have a think. Where can I drop this salt water? It's triggering me a little bit. I don't really want to drop it into here. I could just delete it, but that's a bit of a faff. I can't mop it, there's too much to mop. Boil that salt water. This stuff up here, no, we're just saving this for now. We're going to use this for desalinators, use it to make oxygen. That's the plan. Still days from the last pan attack. Been struggling with O2 and power requirements early game and algae stats become 0. What do you recommend for preserving water and power? The thing I normally advise to people is don't be afraid to build a couple of electrolyzers outside your base. Don't be afraid to let them breathe polluted oxygen. Only take as many tubes as you can handle, like as how many you can accommodate. Don't rush your research. That's a big mistake a lot of new players make. They try and constantly be researching. The thing is, research takes an awful lot of water, so you don't realise. So until you've got like some additional water coming in, or you've melted some ice, or you've got an extra bit of water, don't worry about constantly researching. We paused our research for about 200 cycles because we didn't need anything from it, so no point doing it. And we've still got our starter water in our base pretty much, plus a little bit more that we've added to it. But yeah. Right, first things first, let's just mop a bit of this. Cancel that tile. How much is there? Fuck. Fuck. Let's see if we can trick him. See if we can do a little trick. No problem at all, Dr. Chewy. The main thing to remember is if your dupes are outside your base and you're working them hard somewhere else, you don't need oxygen in your base. Like you can... Hold on. You can oxygenate outside your base to keep them happy when they're outside. That's weird. He just did a mid-air mop on a ladder. So yeah, you don't need to go, you know, too crazy. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. If you are working your dupes outside the base, then your oxygen supply in the base is preserved for when they come home to sleep and rest. So if you can give them some oxygen outside the base, where you don't really care about the temperature, you don't care if it gets a bit warm, then you're setting yourself up to basically consume way less at home. So just give them a hot electrolyzer outside the base and they'll work through their jobs happily. You'll get a bit of hydrogen gathering up on your asteroid and, you know, all sorts of bonuses. Raptor Rage, how you doing, buddy? 21 months. Oh shit, that didn't work. 21 months is incredible. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Why are they only doing 180 kilograms? That's kind of weird. Let's see if we can trick this again. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, motherfucker. Get tricked, game. I did it. Yeah, Rapt, how are you, bud? Not seen you very much recently, but 21 months is incredible. Itchy Pro, thank you very much for the follow as well, bud. Right, now that that's gone, let's decide what sort of layout I want here. I don't need to have a massive electrolyzer setup, but I do want to be able to get a reasonable amount of hydrogen. I don't want it to cost a fortune to run, but it obviously will need quite a few pumps. So let's say we leave a little bit of a gap. Alright, and we'll do something that's a little bit pretty. How about that? So we'll go like bang bang, bang bang, bang bang, bang. How about that? So bang bang, bang bang, bang bang. Oh yeah. I think we can get behind that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Been busy with the boy playing rugby. Oh, it was football last time I spoke to you. I'm sure it was. It's into rugby now. I'm sure it was football last time we spoke. Game seems more CPU heavy than GPU. It's all CPU pretty much. 90% CPU. I'm building an AMD rig actually. Depending on what chip you're doing though, Kaletsky. Are you talking like a, you know, a 3rd gen chip, or what are you going for? Are you going like a Ryzen 3 series or something? You should be alright. Oh, he's switched. He's gone from football to rugby. Oh, not symmetrical. There it is. Oh wait, it's not. There it is. It's symmetrical. Very good. Our 3rd gen. Yeah, the single processing speeds are pretty fucking on point with the new stuff, with the new Ryzens. They'll be pretty good. Why are you spooking me like that? It's very symmetrical. It's perfect. Don't act like you don't like this. This is a lovely design. Very good. Don't act like you don't like it. OCD rage. What? Why is it not symmetrical? 1 2 1 2 bang 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 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 bang bang 1 2 bang 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 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. It's symmetrical. Kaletsky, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you. You'll have to let me know what Ryzen chip you end up getting as well, because I'm debating a Ryzen 3rd gen for my gaming rig soon myself. So yeah. Oh, you were creating a new command. OCD rage. Why are you saying fail? It's perfect. What's wrong with you? 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 4. Oh, you're saying because it's 5 on this side. But it has to be. Oh, 3600X, non-X for the consumer choice. Oh, okay. I've got a 2700X at the minute. I was looking at, is it the 3850X? I could be wrong. It's a while since I've looked at them, to be honest. I need to get some money together for that stuff. It's still symmetrical even with the 5. No, it's perfect with the 5. Because down the middle we're going to have airflow tiles. And, whip. It's perfect. There we go. 2 3 1 2 3. It's lovely. I won't hear a bad word said against it. How dare you? Right, let's just whack him there, and then we'll gonna have a lot of oxygen. How many electrolyzers are we gonna put in? How about 4? What's he building? I'm building a little circle thing. Don't worry. I don't mind either way. He just wanted to join in. God damn it. You make me recount things when you say things like, meh, not symmetrical, meh. So then I go and count it like a pleb lord. Perfect. I don't want it to look like a Pokeball, so there you go. How about that? How's that? Them apples. I'm even going to make it a little bit smaller so we can use a little ladder. Perfect. Look how cute that looks. Super cute. So you're in a mischievous mood. Okay, I'll get back to looking. You son of a bitch. I should have known. I should have known. Just some random contraptions getting hydrogen for space. Hydrogen and oxygen, yeah. It's just going to be an electrolyzer build. It's just going to be a little funky one. Excuse me. I'm going to need a water pipe coming over here, but I'm also going to have a bypass on it as well. So we'll use this as the priority, but then I think we'll have another pipe that goes past here for when I want water over here. But we'll get to the piping in a second. Let's just get the frame built so we can see what we're working with. And we can get rid of these wadders as well. I'm going to put them up there. There we go. Functional, convenient, perfect. Building one on each side, I assume. Well, this is the thing. I'm going to build another design like this over here, but I don't know what it's going to be used for. It's going to have this feckin' carbon dioxide vent in the way, which I've no use for at all, because I've got more carbon dioxide than the Oni devs have in debug. Let's put it that way. I've got more carbon dioxide than there is available in debug. That says it. That says it all. I got a lot of carbon dioxide. Should have built it below the vent. I think the vent's here. So from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fuck. Listen, Perpetual. Sometimes you just have to take a hit. This is one of those times. Don't worry about it. Oh, you're a jerk. This is one of them times. I'm not fixing it. I don't want to. Cold slush vent appeared close to the start biome. I am blessed. Nice. Two CO2 vents though. We basically got re-randomized the generator, get to start fresh again. Ah. Right. I've just realised, by the way, that my mic's been super far away from your stream. Can you hear me now? Are we closer to the ASMR now? Can you all hear me beautifully? Is it clear? I don't have anything to rustle, else I would rustle something. How about this cloth? How's that? I can do ASMR. We can do that, no problem. What? Today I learned that pumps don't need to be put on platforms. No. No. I was playing Overwatch last night and was typing like a crazy fool. Whisper me more. Was it the glasses cleaning material that did it for you? Was it this? Is that what did it? Any way to auto mop? No. I bet there's a mod out there for that though. Yeah, no such thing as auto mop as far as I'm aware. You could freeze it. You could run some piping through the place where you think you're going to have spills and freeze it into solid. And then auto sweep it. How about that? Is that a solution? Is that a solution to your problem? I know none of the details. And there's nothing better than a Today I Learned as well. Don't worry about that, Suedo. Suedo? Don't worry about that. Do you have an automated critter killer? I've got an automated egg killer. So my excess eggs that come from my ranches, I've got some stone hatch ranches. Any excess eggs that aren't to repopulate the room go down a conveyor line and pop out here, where it drowns them. Like so. Any of you animal activists, look away now. Oh, I assumed you were referring to like a long line of liquid or something. If Jews have nothing better to do, they'll just leave water lying around. No. Eggs are easy, they can be conveyed. Yeah, I've got videos on my YouTube hard drive of how to like drown critters. It's pretty easy. I've just not done it in this because I wanted to move the eggs rather than the critters. It's easier. But yeah, in terms of like moving critters, that's not exactly a big deal. It just takes more dupe time because your dupes have to wrangle them to get rid of them or... Done before or after the door patch? One of the videos is before, but it doesn't rely on them falling through doors. The way that my critters are dropped is fine for drowning. So the way that my critters get dropped is by 2 pneumatic doors. Is drowning babies more food than just using the eggs? Yeah, because eggs only give you omelettes, whereas if you wait until they're hatched, then you get meat. Meat is better. Thunderclaw, how you doing? Evil ginger bastard. Yeah, hard drive. The way that we handle our numbers in the room is that when we drop below a certain level, we get some eggs that are dropped up here, right? And then they hatch naturally, and we get little hatchlings. Now, one of the behavioural quirks of hatchlings is they won't jump over a 1-tile gap, all right? Whereas an adult will. So what we basically do is have these doors here that open at different times on the day, and it will open the top door. And when we've got an adult here, he will hop over and potentially get caught by the door. If he gets trapped in here, he falls through. And that's how we get our hatches back in the room. So you could do that exact same thing over a pool of liquid if you wanted to drown them. And that's how you'd move them, that's how you'd drop them. But again, we're handling eggs rather than hatched critters because it's so much easier. Otherwise, you have to have your dupes come and wrangle them, and it's just a pain in the ass. Oh, Jesus. I knew this would hurt me at some point. I've made lead auto sweepers down here and it's getting a bit warm. But yeah, I've got a video actually made about this hatch ranch that I'll be putting up. I think it'll be up tomorrow, so if you check the YouTube, it'll be on there tomorrow. It works for crabs as well. I've done the same build down here for crab boys. So when these eggs hatch, we get little crabs and they do the same thing. Speaking of crabs, take a death. Take a death. Yeah, we should be auto-killing these, but I'm just not. Just every now and again we do a mass culling. What do critters do for you in there? Stone hatches are currently eating stone, basically, raw mineral, to give me coal, and they also give me meat and eggshell from their eggs. The poker shells are eating polluted dirt and give me sand. Different hatches do different things. These are stone hatches. You can get smooth hatches that will give you refined metal. There's loads of different types. But yeah, critters are really handy in this game, Nicholas. If you've not really got into ranching and playing about with some of the critters, you should look into it, because there's loads of different perks you can get from them. There's different variations of puffs, and yeah, it's worth doing. This makes a lot of eggs. I didn't realise how quickly we're going to get crabs. Don't clip that. We get many eggs. Get an egg every 5 cycles-ish, 6 cycles. Many eggs. Perhaps give lime. Yeah, we get the malt from them. That's the beauty of them. So we've just basically got 9 poker shell malts. I think they probably collected some as well. And these malts are 10 kilo of lime each. So we want that. We want that lime. Hot auto loaders in the hatch room. Something like this weekend. I got a scald notification of spice fire in the middle of my base. So down they'd stop the feeders with 300 degrees C granite right in the middle of my base. I think that's what's basically happening here. I've got a sweeper line coming behind. It's not that they've stocked it with hot granite, I don't think. Oh wait, no, 70 degree granite. There we go. It's coming in from space. Perfect. Oh no, this is 70 degrees coming through this room. That's fine. What's in here? 74 degree granite, yeah. So my space stuff is getting dropped to then put in here. That's fine. We'll just replace these a second. That's okay. No problem. I will have cooled all the space materials ultimately, but for now I don't really care. We'll just replace these, because these shouldn't have really been built with lead anyway. I probably did it when I was a bit skint earlier in the game. Got gold for days now from my volcanoes, so why not? There we go. Damn it, Perpetual. Oh, that's worse than a clip. That stays forever in the old quote log. Ah, you son of a gun. Right then. Right then. This may seem excessive, but bear with me. This will be fine. Do I want mechanical filters for these lines? Can I be asked to do mechanical filters for these lines? Probably should, because it's going to cost me a lot of power. Do I want this many pumps? Don't think I do. Don't think I do. That will be absolutely fine. I know we've got 4 electrolyzers. It's only for symmetry. We're not going to be collecting the output of 4 electrolyzers. It is going to overpressurize temporarily. That is fine. Don't worry about it. We've got 1 pump to collect the hydrogen. That should be enough to deal with that. Yeah. I think that'll be okay. I'll look at the automation in a minute. These desalinators, do they generate much heat? Because I've not really used them all that much. I don't really know what the deal is. Do you still need to build mechanisms to delete heat, or is it manageable now? You still definitely need to you know, contest your heat. Heat is an ever-going thing. The more you build, the more you expand, the more heat you've got. We have got more tools to deal with it now. In terms of we've got, you know, aqua tuners and steam turbines and stuff that are pretty powerful. Might do these over here. But yeah, it's something that you want to keep track of the entire playthrough. I mean, that's something you just have to do. Let's do something like this. Oh, that makes me a little bit sad. Yeah, heat death is a very real thing for a lot of players out there, but generally, if you do, like, I mean, I like to build contained builds, so like, a lot of the time my heat is kept in one area. As long as you do that sort of thing, generally it's something you can avoid for a long time. There will be certain asteroids, I'm sure, where heat death is a very much more, you know, real concern. But it's a general rule of thumb: if you keep your builds contained and do like closed builds, then you can deal with it a lot easier. Gives this build 6 mushroom stamps. Is that what you're saying? Because they look like mushrooms. Right. So I'm assuming I can, like, I'm assuming I could take maybe the water that's coming out of here and use it to cool the desalinators a little bit when they're active. So what I'm thinking is we'll do something like this. Am I nearly out of steel? Dirty. Gonna have to dig some more fossil at some point. Yeah, we'll have our water coming out here. We'll just jank this pipe around a little bit. Bridge over to there instead. And then we'll have one desalinator that's active. If this one's inactive, the other one can take over the flow. Because, again, they're going to need tidying out every now and again. We'll have another reservoir probably after them before it gets to the build over here, which I might as well put in now. This level. And that'll be for a couple of reservoirs. Something like this. Just to make sure we get plenty of water coming in. And I may do another one there, because we're going to need another supply of water later. I'll be fine. You still have the windows up there. Yeah, I'm not ripping them out just yet. I kind of was going to just leave them for now. I think they'll give you like a couple hundred kilos. They don't give you massive amounts. So we'll leave them for now. It's more I've just not been focused on digging out any fossil, or we have still got some patches kicking around. I've seen it. I've just not really gone after it. Where was it? What biome is it that you get fossil in? Ah, it's the salt biome, isn't it? Okay. Don't know if we need any more puffed eggs, but we've got so many little puffs in here now. Oh, we did have. Wait, did a load of the puffs die? We had more eggs than that. I know we did. They all die? Did they escape? Definitely have more eggs than that. Weird. We had shitloads of puffs. Oh well. If you double insulated tile... what's that, sorry? You end up creating a vacuum seal around your builds. That's a very, very solid way of doing it. Very, very solid way of doing it. Yeah. Can't get much better than a vacuum. At all, ever. That base is... Oh, Swift. That is very kind, mate. This base has a long way to go at the minute. It's still a little bit wild, a little bit all over the place, but we'll get there. Is this starting to sort itself out a bit now? Don't feel like we're getting enough oil over here for how much we're pumping out, weirdly. Oh, it's raining again. Nice. Very gentle rain. That's what I like. It's better than hailstorm. I like it better than hail. We'll keep this just dripping over here. And this is 25 ton tile of carbon dioxide. I can't wait for that to explode. Minus 56.5. Oh. It's not far off. Someone said hailstorm? Oh, this is lead, isn't it? Molten lead. Don't know what we'll do that. Use that for. We'll just leave it there for now. He's fine. Right, I'm just forgotten. This has been a huge sweep that they've been working on down here when they've had time. This is slowly getting pumped out. We're probably going to make more ethanol as we dump it in here, but that's fine. It'll just be ethanol gas kicking around. We can look at maybe condensing it later if we can be bothered. But for now, this all seems pretty chill. I really want this to heat up. Minus 57. will you fill that tank to the top? I plan on just leaving this going for as long as I can until I can get some proper cooling or proper aqua tuner set up down here. I'm just being lazy and using that oil that we've got for now, but I think that would last us a very long time. I mean, how much carbon dioxide's coming down here? You know, it's nearly 2 kilos a second ish. There's a few packets missing here and there, but I just don't think this is going to warm up. 25 tons is a lot to be warming up. Ethanol sour nightclub. It's pretty. I love the looks of the gas in this game. It is one of the things that I like. It's really pretty. I can't believe these are still working down here as well. I thought these would have been cooked by now. Yeah, they're fine. Where's that CO2 coming from? We've just got lots of CO2 in the base. We've got wood burners, we've got coal gens, ethanol distillers. We get lots of CO2. These ethanol distillers output a lot. Like an awful lot. How much lumber are we sat on now? Oh, the lumber is going up again. Nice, 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 nice. That is good to hear. Wood burners create massive amounts of CO2, yep. Yep. Recent game putting guys in volcanoes and now what fans over 1k plus cycles end up toasting everything around the base. I have a triple. You haven't tried triple layer. I got more CO2 than Mars's atmosphere will ever need. Generally, vacuum's the perfect way to go. Generally. If I'm doing super hot builds, I like airflow tiles and vacuum. I like the aesthetic of it, and I like how it just works perfectly. I feel like our oil layer has dropped here more than I wanted it to. Which is weird, because this boy is on for twice as much time. But isn't pumping. Oh! 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 Fuck! There's always something. Ah, Jesus. No, everyone loves it and it's a perfect solution. I'm just discussing how worth it is. It depends. If you're going to play a base for 4,000 cycles, then, you know, do it. Otherwise, just do 3 layers or 2 layers of ceramic and you'll be fine. What's your main cooling setup? How does it work? I cool my oxygen, Hirosho. I only really cool my base, for the most part. I cool my base with cool oxygen, so it keeps it around 20 odd degrees. 20 to 24 degrees at the minute because of the water that we're using. That keeps everything nice and chill. And then individual builds I cool on their own. So there might be a bit of lag here. I know, it worked. So we're running, you know, polluted water through our generator and our battery room. We're running, you know, hot water through our pinch pepper room to keep them happy. We run cold polluted water again, like 30-degree water through our refineries, oil refineries, petrol gen rooms. I like to cool things locally, normally with little radiators. Generally just putting heat into something before it goes on to have another purpose. This polluted water comes in at 30 degrees. We put it through some cooling loops to warm it up a little bit, and then it goes into another tank where our pinch peppers eat it. Things like that. You know, even using it to cool like carbon skimmers and stuff. We have got carbon skimmers that are trying to do their best to work to this CO2, but there's a lot of it. A hell of a lot. And we are trying to get rid of it from our tanks and stuff. I don't really need to do this the same way anymore. Should change that piping up. Yeah, this pipe should be like this pipe where it bridges only if it needs it. But, yeah, it's fine. Right, I was in the middle of doing stuff, wasn't I? Let's get back to this. Kind of thought that never got connected, yeah. This is the problem, I look away and then forget. I just vacuumed the entire map last playthrough, working on doing it again. It works pretty well. We've done it before, Nick. Yeah, it doesn't really give you much of a bonus at all. In terms of FPS, you get very little. How do you set up a group of constructions priority? You should have to singularly change each one. He also calls Scamdo, so best not to ask about that one. As in priority, how do you set a group of constructions priority? We do have a priorities tab where you can assign different priorities to different dupes. Do you eliminate heat with turbines only? Pretty much. Pretty much. What else are we using? We're not using any Weezwarts, got no AETNs. Turbines and aquatuners. Go on then, how are you cooling the CO2? With an aquatuner. The aquatuner's just going through a pipe. So, ethanol, minus 64 degrees. Little boy aquatuner down here just chilling. The reason I'm doing this down here is I'm just dumping oil in here. It's oil that we're going to burn anyway later. So this is 90-degree oil. When this finally gets built, we should be able to pump him a little bit. We got 2 and a bit packets. Let's just move this over a bit. Activation time. Yeah, fuck it, we'll just do it there. I wanted it to be in for a little bit actually before I wanted it to warm up a little bit before we pump it out. That'll do. So yeah, we're taking like 90-degree oil from our oil biome and we're putting a bit more heat into it. Put a bit more heat into it before we use it. So it becomes like, you know, 200-degree oil, and then we'll pump this back into the base in a bit. So I've ran this aquatuner now for like 100 cycles maybe. And it's just been working on making a big old lake of CO2. There's actually a lot more CO2 in here than you realise. These are 2-ton tiles. There's a lot of CO2 in here. But, you know, it's a fun little derpy side project. Why not? Why not? Alright. Yeah, I think it's time we just put a ladder through here. So annoying. You can't just do a straight up turn. Oh well. Perfect. What happens to CO2 lake if the cooling fails and it regasifies? It'll just become a big room of carbon dioxide at like 2 tons per tile. Nothing will happen at all. Can liquid storage units store liquid CO2 well without thermal transfer? How do you mean, sorry? Like a liquid reservoir? Or do you mean like an overpressurized tank? Does it overpressure the room and break out? No, it'll be fine. It'll just turn back into gas. When do you think you'll be done with this playthrough? I don't know. The lag is getting worse. I'm finding myself doing less and less per stream because I'm scared to... Oh, I'm scared to pan around too much and I'm not keeping an eye on my base as well as I should be. So, I don't know. We'll see. I wanted to get more done in this playthrough. I may take a stand on it in the next few streams. Fuck you, Perpetual. You know just what to say to trigger me, don't you? You know just what to say, Perpetual, don't you? Every time. Jerk. Once your next request of a glass lake is done. Study a liquid CO2 pit that needs to be kept cool. Can you store them in a liquid storage unit at room temperature and not worry about it gasifying? I think you mean the reservoirs. Do you mean these things? You could store it in one of these that's in a vacuum on some mesh tiles, yeah. Would it help to clean up all the stuff on the ground, like everywhere, make a giant storage area? No. Debris does very little to game impact. Makes very little difference whatsoever. You can sweep everything on the map, put it in a little room that's a vacuum so it's not transferring temperature. It won't make a blind bit of difference. You might gain 1 or 2 FPS. And that's not the bit that's bothering me. The bit that's bothering me is the input lag more than anything. And that's got nothing to do with debris. Again, there's a lot of people on the forums that'll misadvise you about this sort of stuff. You can do the test yourself in debug. If you go into a debug game, load up one of your saves, go into debug, dig out everything on the map, drop all the debris on the floor, let there be shitloads of it all over the place, drop all your liquids down, make a right mess. You'll notice very little difference once it's all settled out. Once it's all bottomed out on the floor, you'll notice nothing. If you then took all that debris and swept it, removed it entirely from the game, very little difference. It really doesn't matter. It's more something going on in the background, and I don't know what that is because I'm not a coder, I'm not a game designer. I don't know how this stuff works, but there's something going on in the background because I've done the tests and other people have too. Is this what they said they're looking into? They've acknowledged that there's a problem with late game lag, and that it's definitely performance-wise worse than it was on QOL Mark II and Mark 1. I don't know what they're looking into. I don't know what they can do. But hopefully, again, I'm just holding out hope for hotfixes. I'm hoping that we'll get some love from hotfixes and stuff. That's my hope. Royce. I kind of need to dig through here. I didn't really want to completely wreck this ice biome, but I think it's time. I think it's time we get rid of it. It's going to make a big old bastard mess if I do, though. And I don't have an ice tank anymore. I can't drop my ice back in here because it's all melting. I could try, but it's risky. Yeah, minus 0.7. Oh, there's a lot less ice in here, though. We've pumped a lot of this ice out now. We had 275 tons of water in here, and it's all gone. So, yeah. Now I've got way more in our tank. That is good. How much of space have you explored? Very little. We've only done the nearest asteroids, really. We've been a little bit hampered by a lack of power, because we didn't have access to any natural gas. It's that... Can you hear that playing? Can you hear how loud that is? Is lag reduced when when all dupes are sleeping? No. Yeah, it's bad. It's so loud. There's something changed, let's say. I don't know who you complain to. I don't know if you can complain. Many people say it's because of Duke's Pathfinder, but restricting areas is a very hard thing to do when you're exploring the asteroid. Yeah, we've done tests again on stream where we streamlined our base. So, for those of you that might not be aware, we've played a lot of this game. We've played a lot of different colonies, and quite a few of the colonies we ended up digging out all the map. So we'd end up at a point where we'd dug out nearly everything, and we'd have a few ladders left here and there, but we'd try and work back and clear them all out. Once you get to that point, you can basically have 2 or 3 exits and entrances to the base, and that's it. It still doesn't make that much of a difference. Pathfinding is definitely an element in the game, don't get me wrong. It's definitely an element that is doing stuff in terms of processing, but I just feel like this is a combination of things in the coding more than anything. I mean, there is something I could do that's a bit radical if you want. I'm going to save the game. I'm saving the game. Because I'm due a save and load anyway. It's 9:30. I've been streaming for a few hours without a restart. So let's just do this. Okay. The game is now saved. I am enabling debug. Alright, we've revealed everything anyway. So I'm just going to do a little dig. I'm just going to show you something. Give me a sec. I just dug a lot of stuff, don't forget. Boop, 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 boop. Let's just mop all this crap as well. Don't worry, I do not plan to play on, nor do I plan to save this once we've done this. Just bear with me. Right. Just to show you. We'll load him again in a second. It's going to black holes soon. It won't, it'll just log out. Right, I think that'll do us. That should be a fair old example. Let's see how this behaves now. Right, and now let's clear the floor of all this debris. Let's see how much we gain. Gained, I reckon, 5 FPS. Still feels laggy for me. Don't have as much lag when I'm interacting with items. Oh no, wait, there is. Build menu. I reckon I gained 5 FPS. I should have put my FPS on before I started. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, we dug out this entire chunk of the map, we dug out all this stuff, and we deleted the debris. We didn't sweep it, we didn't store it, we deleted it from the game. That's mass that's removed from the actual file itself, from the save file itself. It's gone forever. And from all that, from all this extra stuff, we gained about 5 DPS. But in the process of doing this, we'd be running the game for another, you know, imagine how long it would have taken to clear out all this crap. A long, long time. Let me make sure debug's off. A long, long time. And in the process of doing that, your save file's getting bigger, your report logs are getting bigger, everything, you know? There we go. So, it isn't a fix, it isn't a solution to the game. It's something you can aspire to do if you're going to play a colony for 2,000 cycles or something, or 1,500 cycles. You can aspire to do it, and it may help you a little bit, but it's not very good. Could it be space debris? No, we've cleared space many times, pawns. We've cleared all the regolith away and used it elsewhere, and we used to feed all of our regolith to like a little room with shovels in it. We just dump it all in that room that dupes didn't have access to. Doesn't matter. Is it gas moving around? You can vacuum the map. So I did lots of tests in the past. This has been an ongoing thing for me for a while, right? Because I've wanted to know what I can do to keep the streams going lag-free, alright? So there was a test that I did, God, this is probably a year ago now, where I took a save, like a random stream save, and it was one that we'd got to about cycle 1200 or something. It was a big base, but we were starting to lag. I think we had 24 dupes in that base. It started to get really uncomfortable. So first thing I did, I cleared up every bit of debris, swept everything off the map, and I gained like 1 FPS. Literally 1 FPS. And then I mopped up all loose liquids on the map, you know, like any little drips of surface liquid. Mopped it all gone. No loose liquids, only liquids in tanks. That gave us negligible 1 or 2 FPS. Then I filled every single tile on the map with insulated tiles, and back then you could make insulated tiles out of abyssite, so it was like fully insulated. That made no difference. Then I removed all those tiles, swept all the debris away, and made everything a vacuum, and that gave us about 1 FPS, 2 FPS different. So all in all, I completely nuked the map. I'd restricted access of my dupes as well. That was another thing I did. That actually did give us 2 or 3 FPS. So I did all these steps. I removed access to my dupes. I made my base essentially smaller. I had less access for my dupes to get out and do stuff. I'd removed every bit of debris on the map. I'd removed every bit of liquid on the map. I'd removed every gas on the map, and I gained 7 FPS. which took me up to about 24.